Alright, child, let's do this. Well, here we are, October 1st, Sunday. It's almost 3 o'clock, about 10 of 3. It's 77 degrees out. Pretty humid, too. Oh, kisses. You sweet boys. Yeah, it got humid again this weekend. The temperature is going to be warm this week, getting up to probably close to 80 through Wednesday, I think. And then a little more rain for next weekend, and then it's going to nosedive. We get back to days, maybe in the 60s, and the nighttime I was looking, going to be dipping in the 30s. So we may be looking at a frost next week, during the week, at some point, especially up here. So take a good look, all the color, these hydrangeas. And I do apologize, the sun is really strong today. And it's already, well, not super low in the sky, but pretty getting there for not even 3 o'clock yet. Sebastian just went for a walk with his brother up the driveway. So we're hoping that maybe he'll want to hang around and do his video duties for us. So a couple of butternut squashes there. We have the one on the inside. Let's see how that comes in. It's hard zooming in into the sun like that, but there it is. So what's that, 3? Here's number 4 growing out on this arm. This arm I don't think has, yeah, well, yes it does. So there's number 5, and there's a smaller number 6. A little number 7 in there. Nobody out here, but this one is almost passing the fingernail test now. So I just got to see if that stem is going to start turning brown, and then look at the size of that butternut squash. There's a meal for 2 right there. What was that? 6, 7, 8, 9, and I think I didn't catch that one from that side, but so maybe that's 10. Wow, on the phone it looks like it's glowing green, like radioactive green. All right, so what do we have going on here on this early autumn day? Checking out these cone flowers. This one is still blossoming just fine. Let me get out of the shadow. And this one is finally opening up from the cones, and the leaves are uncurling like long ways, lengthwise. And Dee was checking, and we do have some more in here too. We're probably not going to get flowers this year, but they'll come back. They're self-seeding, I think. That's something to look forward to. This sunflower here, just waiting for that to turn to seed and see some birds hanging off it. And we've been lucky. We've been managing to keep the deer from coming in here and eating everything. Got the lilac turning a little purplish here. Hazelnut getting yellow, and getting the catkins on here that they get around fall time. Looks like there's only a few hazelnuts left to drop. I haven't seen any birds. Well, I've seen small birds, but I haven't seen anyone really grabbing at the hazelnuts. This viburnum, some leaves turning reddish. They don't all turn red. Some of them just drop off, but it's a little bit of something. And these berries that, well, one year we did have turkeys literally climbing up on that small tree trying to get the berries. Otherwise, it's pretty much just been the cedar waxwings. None of the other birds around here are that interested. I was watching a bee yesterday, just coming in for that 1 or 2 little flower bits on that last of the bee balm. Gonna move a little quicker as we fly through. So these sunflowers almost all played out. A little bit of marigold down there. And we're waiting on this Mexican sunflower to start flowering. And then there's another smaller one here, and actually down here, which probably won't make it. Oh my goodness, look at, there's a little froggy in here. He's just hanging out. Hi, buddy. I'll leave you be. All right, so yeah, we'll move into the back. This morning, this hydrangea had the light coming in from the right there by the donkey shed. So it was a little bit behind the blossoms, and I wanted to grab the phone just to get that color. But this blush is wonderful. Very delicate, but just like a bouquet right here. All right, let's see. Taking a look. Still some lilies hanging on. Most of the black-eyed Susans back here are kind of drooping, losing their leaves. But the ones in the garden, hopefully I'll remember to focus in on those. They're a little bit stronger. And it's really, otherwise, just the arranged flowers here still hanging on. Still got a little bit of blossoms in the nasturtium and the peonies. Look at, I was noticing this morning the little yellow blossoms here of the wild clover. Just growing in the moss garden all on its own. There's Sebastian. Still have blossoms on the purple dragon. And Sebastian, want to point out the elephant ear hosta that a deer was back here nibbling on. And I'm thinking this particular deer is coming down from up there. Because we're seeing up in the ferns, up the driveway, we're seeing paths coming out from the woods, and I think it's just kind of dropping down there and mostly avoiding the house. You want to come take a look at your veggies? Whoosh. Oh, it is bright up here. I still gotta get this hose put away. Alright, so the dill, oh, this is good. Lifted up a lot. It was really hanging with the dew this morning when I was taking a look. No sign of the sweet potatoes being unhappy yet, which is good. Even the regular potatoes, haven't seen any more flowers, but we'll keep an eye on those as, again, the weather is supposed to turn cool. Sebastian and I have been checking on the last 4 pumpkins, and they're little by little. They're not turning yellowish yet, but they're starting to get that lighter in there. Although I did see on one of the arms down below, there's another, about the size of a grapefruit, another pumpkin started. So depending how it handles the cooler nights, we may get a 5th pumpkin. We picked a lot more peppers, and we've been eating, pretty much integrating the veggies into the meals as much as we can. Oh, even more cucumbers up. We found more cucumbers as we were going through. But here's the black-eyed Susans up here. These little, I don't want to call them stray sunflowers, but these kind of were in the middle here. You want to look? Yeah, I know, we got to pick the celery, Sebastian. And it's a shame because this is where we wanted the cabbage, like in like May or June. Starting to get a cup in the center. And it does like the cooler weather, but I think we're just running out of time at this point, and hours of daylight. This shrub here of the Mexican sunflower is just, it's beautiful. This is a really good spot. I don't think it took too long to get here when you see the height and how many how many blossoms are on it compared to the gate around Sebastian's doggeria. So I think it's gotten plenty of sun. It gets the morning sun where it should. So this is a good spot to do that again. It forms a nice little, bush area. So where Sebastian is standing over there, we're thinking of doing a native type pussy willow, or weeping willow rather. We were talking about maybe the pussy willow, but I think a weeping willow will be better because it's got a good open area there with a good amount of sun. It'll be blocked a little bit, especially as it's growing from the prevailing winds come that way, especially in the winter. And it obviously gets plenty of moisture because it dips down there. There's a lot of moisture back there, so that'll help dry up this corner a little bit, as well as keep it happy. And we'll be able to see it from the house, which is one of the things we want. And as it gets bigger, the fronds will, certainly the branches will extend beyond the fence, and that'll keep the deer and maybe bring in some moose. So, and over here, again, this Mexican sunflower, this tall. So even taller than the one over there. Over through here, growing. So it's neat that this keeps flowering a little bit later, as many of the bigger sunflowers now are, kind of getting done. Even the second and third heads on the regular sunflowers. Yeah, this one's going to be really strong over here. I apologize for that. So yeah, that big one up there, it looks like all the multiple heads played out. Maybe there's one up there. I'm looking directly in the sun. What else? We've been pulling the eggplant because that seems to have slowed down and is not happy with the cooler temps. This is going to be an experiment. So this nasturtium here, this is a nasturtium stalk. Look how thick that is. And it almost feels woody. And I asked Damaris about it, and she said that she had heard that they can get actually established and come back again. So we may actually have a nasturtium that's going to come back without having to put in new seeds. And it's a good place because even in the winter, here we go. We got the south sun here, basically, or, south and west right behind me. So reflecting off of the donkey shed, that'll keep that a little warmer. So earlier to start in the spring, a little bit avoiding the ultra cold temperatures in the middle of the winter. Another, even more Mexican sunflowers here. It's just a shame that the younger ones are probably not going to get to flower. What else? That's it. We had a bat. Damaris told me, not on here. I don't think anything's in the bat house, but on the barn down there. In the morning, she was leaving for work, and she saw one go in between the cracks on the barn. And on the barn down there, there's actually like a thick canvas thing from an old portable shed thing that's on the inside that I had put up before I could get all the wood pieces up because it was late in the season. So it's actually pretty insulated there. I'm sure they won't overwinter, but at least they're actually hanging out in the yard. Get a nice early start in the evening eating the mosquitoes. And they don't have a long commute. All right, so anything else we had to cover? I think that's pretty much it, Sebastian. We talked about cedar. No, we didn't talk about cedar. The white cedar down here. Let's see. Nasturtiums are still going good on the rocks here. And in this pot, anywhere where they're getting the sun, right? Still draped up here. Dee was working on the fountain again. Oh yeah, check out. Dee added more moss around the base of the fountain. Isn't that gorgeous? Hey Sebastian, what do you got into? What are you getting into? Hey, stay right there. Oh, you looking? Good boy. You're so handsome. You having fun in your garden? Okay. What was I talking about? I was talking about cedar. So this white cedar right here is getting a lot of seeds on it again this year. And I've been wanting more of this around the yard. So there we go, there's some seeds in there. So I grabbed a few handfuls of seeds and I went up the driveway in about 4 or 5 areas and then down below the chicken coop and found a few spots because it likes moisture. It likes some place that's going to, stay relatively moist, get some good sunlight, and I think I found the areas. And plus we want to use that as some year-round foliage up that way because the neighbor's house is getting built and we don't know which way his floodlights are going to shine, but and I'll show you once the leaves are off the trees. You can see clearly looking up here. You can see into his yard. So just to add a little more year-round coverage, I figure that's a good idea. And Sebastian, you want to show your firewood? So I didn't intend to do a straight line down, but I think I'm almost halfway done. Got to be close. So this was, good boy, 2 cords. And I got full row done today and the half row behind it. So if that's about right, that's at least at that height, that's a row and a half per cord, because that's a lot longer than 8 feet. It's only 16 inches deep, but it's a lot taller than 4 feet. It's it's not quite twice that, but generally a stacked cord is 4 by 4 by 8 feet. Anyway, I'm just trying to figure. I think I got 2 more rows in there, so I may have a row and a half being done with this. And unfortunately, this load is very, it's not seasoned enough, so I'm going to have to get some kiln-dried firewood, and I'm going to have to put it in the barn so I can start burning from the winter and then pull from the back of that shed, because the prior stuff was a little bit better just to get through this winter. But on the bright side, I should be all set for next winter. All right, Sebastian, that's about it. So here we are in October, and hopefully we'll have a little bit better foliage to show next week. We're not expecting a great season this year. All the wet over the summer has given fungus to the maples, and where you get color, even that's not so great. A lot of leaves are just falling right off the tree. Some of these aspens, the brown leaves just falling on the ground, not even getting any color. But we'll see. Here and there, and we'll find it where we can, because that's what we do in October. Right, Misha? There's not much left to do in the gardens except clean up, plant some garlic. All right, Sebastian, say thank you for watching. Tune in next week. And until then, thanks again. Bye.